Theros, Beyond Death spoilers. Definitely got dumped on us heavily over the weekend, but a lot today. Some just a few minutes away before I started recording this. So I hope you guys stick around and get a look at all these new Theros Beyond Death spoilers, because there are a lot to behold here. Some very powerful ones, and I'll also be comparing the old gods to the new gods that were spoiled today. Let's jump into it. So first up, Field of Ruin. This card was approaching about like $4, I want to say. Just for a regular copy of it. So it needed a reprint, so it's kind of cool it got the reprint. I wonder if we will see an unbanning. Probably not. Will we see an unbanning? Maybe not. I highly doubt Field of the Dead is ever going to return to standard. But, I mean, maybe with this and maybe another card that would destroy a land. Possibly. But I highly doubt that'll happen. But it's really cool to see this as printed, though. I'll say that. Brine Giant, that's right, a 7-drop creature giant. Ooh, boy, that's massive, boy. 5/6. It's a common card, but this spell costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's been times with some of my decks where I've had 5 or 6 enchantments out. This would cost me literally one to cast. But do I want a 5/6 big dummy out there where my deck might be geared around destroying stuff? Using an enchantment, making my opponent sacrifice stuff, and I got to sacrifice, like with Doom Foretold, Would I want something like this in the deck? Probably not that style deck, I'll have to say that much. And why do I look so pale? Moving forward. So it's a card of interest, but I highly doubt it's going to see much play. Maybe? I don't know. All right, then we have Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach, it's a deuce drop. Enchantment. Enchant non-land card in your graveyard has escape. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. So, yeah, this card is only going to stay in play for a very limited time, okay? It would go, I think, great with something like Fires of Invention, where you wouldn't have to pay anything to get Underworld Breach on the field as it is. This is my opinion. It is 2 to cast. You have to keep that in mind. So you're going to lose 2 mana already off that. And it's going to be sacrificed, and that's another thing that's kind of like, man, really? But you have the escape cost on there. So this will just make you have available, accessible mana. Your whole mana will be available, unless you have something like Cavalier Pumps or whatnot. Anything that would pump up your side of the board to play. But outside of that, yeah, why not use this? And I do believe, yes, there you go. Pump it up. Get your stuff back. It's a nice little synergy there between these 2 cards. Ox of Aganas. I like the name of that. Anybody else? I like the art on this one, too. It's a really cool card. It's a great way to stay in shape. It's a 5-drop. Ox. Mythic. When Ox of Aganas enters the battlefield, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. That's a huge refill. 3 cards. You're able to refill your entire hand. If you're in red, why not run like 2 copies of this or something? Maybe 3 copies. Maybe 4 copies. Maybe not 4. Maybe 4. I don't know. We're going to find out, though. But the cool thing is, you can refill your entire hand at the right time. Of course, if you do a little too early, you're going to be discarding. But then some decks want you to discard and get stuff into the graveyard. There, that would be great. And then you can escape and do it again. But holy crap, is that escape cost high? 2 red and exile 8 other cards from your graveyard. Yeah, you got to have a really good strategy. You got to be careful with some of these abilities, like this escape mechanic and whatnot. Yeah, that's great and everything, but man, it is really forcing you to dump a lot of stuff into your graveyard if you really want to use and abuse it. But you end up milling yourself in the process if you're doing too much with this mechanic. It's a very interesting mechanic indeed. I just wouldn't go too crazy overboard, making your whole deck based around the escape. I think that's a way to get milled out, maybe. Or if you can get your win count up fast enough, And then also you have Ox of Aganas escapes with the +1/+1 counter on it. Well, that's great. A shock won't kill this thing. Hooray. Okay, that's great. When it comes back, it'll die to a lightning strike. I'm sure they'll reprint that soon. All right, so thoughts? I'm not certain. I'll go through these really quick. You got Temple of Abandon, Temple of Malice. Just wanted to show you guys the new art on these lands. These cards are reprints. They've been printed before in Theros time. Temple of Deceit, Temple of Enlightenment. They're interesting, you know. They have the Scry 1 when it enters the battlefield, but it enters tapped. Does hurt a little bit. Temple of Plenty, pretty cool. Those are all the new arts we have for our new lands. Hooray. Now, we get into some of the crazier sauce. Nilia, God of the Hunt. Oh my god. We have Nilia Sharp-Eyed. This is the new Planeswalker. I'm not Planeswalker. New God 4-drop. Nilia Sharp-Eyed. Legendary enchantment creature god. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to green is less than 5, Nilia Sharp-Eyed is not a creature. I gotta say, it is really easy to get devotion for that. If you're running mono green. I mean, it really is. The big perk, creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I think that's monstrous. But remember, also, if you are running devotion, you know, you want a lot of green symbols, and you can really almost make an entire deck with just the green symbols in your cards, in your deck, basically, and be void of all colorless converted mana cost. It's possible, maybe, almost possible. So I'm just saying, like, to reduce it by 1, that's great, though. You do want this. Yes, you would want this if you're running devotion. Then it's for 2 green, 2 and a green, reveal, so 3 total. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. If it has an escape, I think only escape. Is it only Planeswalkers can do that too? If the creature card put in your hand, otherwise you may put it into your graveyard. So you could put like a Planeswalker or something else with escape. You know, the enchantment or whatnot. I think there's enchantments out there. We're gonna find out a lot more. But there's other things you can put into your graveyard. That's not a creature. If it's a creature, it goes right into your hand. So that is pretty interesting to say the least. We do know at least that the white Planeswalker. Oh gosh, why can't I think of her name right now? Somebody help me. Oh man, my buddy's gonna kick my butt. We were just talking about this card forever. The new, not even a new. She's been around. Elspeth. Oh gosh, thank goodness. Elspeth. I mean, with the escape cost, that's one example of something that would go into the graveyard, and then you can instantly, use its escape cost or something, to bring her back. There's an example for something like that. The old Nilia though is indestructible. The same with the devotion, the 5, same casting cost. Other creatures you control have trample. It's not bad. And then for 4, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Pretty cool. Definitely saw play in its day. Which one's better? Well, it depends on what you're using it for, honestly. But I do like the new God Sharp-Eyed. I think it's going to be impactful. How impactful is, we're going to find out. I do want to see Mono Green make another run at it in top 8 some stuff, but I feel like that's going to require a lot for that to happen. I just don't want to see Mono Red again, top 8ing. That's it. All right, then we have Allure of the Unknown. There are a bunch of other newer cards, I will tell you right now, that we'll go over. This one was spoiled this weekend, but there are more from today. Stay tuned for sure. So reveal the top 6 cards of your library. An opponent exiles a non-land card from among them. Then you put the rest into your hand. That opponent may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So basically you're like, hey, take the best card, potentially the best card I have, and you can play it for free, pal. It's cool. That is very risky business, and at the cost of you just putting cards into your hand. I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. And especially if you put this in the wrong deck, that can get really ugly really, really quick. Now, I believe there's ways around that. If you were to run something like Teferi Timebender or whatnot, it would allow you, because like the sorcery thing would shut it off, because your opponents can only cast instances if there were sorceries or whatever like that. Like I don't think that would negate this ability, so your opponent would get shut down and not be able, or he would be denied the ability to cast that. Believe that's how it works with that. So that is like, and is it Timebender? Sure. So that's like one example where this card would play well. But think of the synergy. You got to be running at least a 4-color deck then for that. And then what if they end up getting your Teferi? Or something like that were to happen. Like that's another thing. It's all types of wackiness here. But Allure of the Unknown, it's an interesting card. I just don't know. If it finds I don't know. I really don't know on this one, guys. This one's one of those like, what are we doing here? How did we end up here? Kind of cards, if you ask me. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. Galia of the Endless Dance. I love the artwork on this one. They are having a real good party. You know, a real good party. They are rave styling right now. Food and other things. Okay. So, legendary creature, Satire. Is it Satyr? All right, anyway. It's a deuce drop. Other satyrs you control get the +1/+1 and have haste. That's big. I know a lot. This might be playable in older formats because there's a lot of fans of the satyrs creature back then. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw 2 cards. It's a deuce. I don't know how impactful this is going to be in Standard. It could be. I don't think it's going to be that impactful in Standard. I think other formats are really going to enjoy this card, though. But nonetheless, this card was printed, and I swear, I just love the artwork on this card. I don't know if it's just me. This is my favorite art from the entire set so far, but this is really cool. There's no success like excess. Oh, they're going hard. NYX Lotus. Here's a powerhouse. 4-drop. NYX Lotus enters the battlefield tapped. Tap it. Choose a color. Add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. Once you get, it's a legendary artifact. Once you get past the 4 colorless, you know, to get this out, this thing is huge pumps. I mean, you got 5 on the battlefield, 5 mana symbols in the casting cost on permanents you control in the battlefield. That's 5 devotion. That's 5 extra mana you got now. I mean, that's crazy. And there's going to be times where you might have 10. There's going to be times where Joey Moss has 20, and we just broke the entire game on Arena. There's going to be times when things just go boom, and everything gets crazy and out of hand, and no one knows what's going on, and chickens are running around on fire and stuff, and no one knows. You got to think about those times, because this card's going to be a lot of fun. Bet your bottom dollar, my friend. Bet your bottom dollar. They could have made this a mythic, by the way. They really could have. They could have made it a mythic, but they didn't. Anyway. All right, moving along. Merit Calls of the Dead. That's right. It's a 3-drop. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may exile a creature or enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Zombies are going to be a deal in this one again, it looks like. You gain X life and scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. So the ability to scry X is really cool because there are some cards where, you know, the top card matters. You know, like if I'm trying to think of the name of the card. It's in red though. But yeah, Amplified, something amplifier. It's a red card creature. It's a 1/1, but then its power and toughness are equal to the top card of your library, you know, like, or whatever card you draw that turn, you know, if it's a creature, which can be redunculous. You can get out of control really, really, really fast. But that would be something that'd be kind of fun to, you know, synergize with this card. But really, you're just looking to make sure your cards are where they want to be, you know, and scrying X, if you have like 4 or 5 zombies out, I mean, that's big. You know, you can decide what's going on top, and you can really find what you need to get the winning combination out. So I do like this card. It's going to see play. The artwork on it, man, is so weird. I had to take a few looks at this artwork. It is out there. If you give it a look here, that's some creepy stuff, man. Creepy going ons right there. Creepy going ons for sure. Let me move this back over. But yeah, interesting card. Wrath of Storm. Here's another big boy. 4-drop sorcery. Wrath of Storm deals 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. I feel like I spelled creature there. Whoops. But very, very... Wow, I really spelled creature wrong there. Yeah, butchered. Sorry, guys. Whoopsie doodle. Happens sometimes. But that's really cool. I think we needed a nice big board sweep. Wrath of Storm, 4 damage to everything. Everything. We'll see it. Get up out of here. I like it. I love it. And it's in red. I don't think red had anything that was that powerful in quite some time. It had some, like, you know, deals 2 damage to everything, or non-flyers and crap like that. That you're, you know, but this is 4 damage to everything. Watch out. I hate red already. Oh, I hate red every more now. All right. Woe Strider. Again, a really, really cool card. Love the art on this one. It's a 3-drop horror. When woe. Is it woe? I'm going to say woe. I don't care if it's woo. All right. I'm going to call it woe. Like woo. I'm going to call it woe. Like, whoa, buddy. Whoa. Whoa, nearly. Whoa, nearly. Okay, we're going that route. When Woe Strider enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 white goat creature token. I tried telling you guys for a while, goat lives matter, okay? I don't care what sick stuff Desi does over there on his channel with goats. Don't do that, okay? They matter in this life. Sacrifice another creature, scry 1. Interesting stuff. Goats, man. Escape for 5. Exile 4 other cards from your graveyard. Again, what escape is, you may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. Whoa. Whoa, Strider. Escapes with 2+1/+1 counters on it. That's not bad. I mean, I think this card's going to see a heck ton of play, if you ask me. Yeah, it's not so much the devotion. You know, you're going to be going after this card. This card, you probably won't be doing the whole devotion thing. But I wish it would say, goats you control get +1/+1. That'd be stupid. That'd be stupid fun. But there's not enough goats probably to go around. Not for everybody, though. Interesting card. I'd like to see what it's capable of. I like that the casting cost is only 3. But then you had to bring this back. I mean, you bring it back, you get to sacrifice another creature anytime, scry 1. Something tells me that it's going to be very important to have like certain stuff on the top deck of your library. We're going to see a card printed like that. If I was a betting man, we're going to see something like that. Yeah, really cool, interesting card to say the least. And it's nice. It's a sack outlet. Plus, if you can keep bouncing it and getting a creature on the board, think about that also. And any sacrifice kind of decks, whenever you're sacrificing something, you know, someone's paying for it. This is gonna fit right in there, man. Really well. Erebus, Bleak-Hearted. Oh yes. The god is back. 4-drop, indestructible. As long as your devotion to black is less than 5, Erebus isn't a creature. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. That's not bad. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. For deuce, so if you're sacrificing something or something, you know, you can do that. For deuce, sacrifice another creature, as in that case right there. Target creature gets -2/-1 until end of turn. So you can start sacrificing these goat tokens. You can do whatever you want, man. That makes sense, sacrificing a goat. And then you can, like, you know, ping your opponent, -2/-1, whatever the case may be. I think that's an interesting card. Do I think it's better than the OG Erebus, God of the Dead? Probably not. 4-drop and indestructible. As long as your devotion to black is less than 5, same thing. Your opponents can't gain life. Right there just shuts them on down, you know, if they're running a life gain build. For deuce, pay 2 life, draw a card. But you can pay that as many times as you'd like, you know. The same does apply, I suppose. There is a perk. There is a perk with this one. You pay the 2, so you got to sacrifice the creature. And you're also dealing some damage to your opponent. You got to have creatures to sack. It's hard to say which one's better. Again, it depends on what kind of deck you're in. But if your opponent's running life gain, clearly the God of the Dead on the left is going to be better than the Black-Hearted. But yeah, it's very interesting. We're going to see what happens with this. I think black is going to be one of the colors to beat. I have this crazy feeling. It's just going to be very, very powerful. Hoping black and green, but we'll see how it goes down. All right, next we got the Binding of the Titans. It's a deuce drop. For those of you newer, it's a saga. So as this saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 3 lore counters. So the first one, each player puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Okay. For deuce, exile up to 2 target creature cards from graveyards. For each creature card exiled this way, gain 1 life. Interesting to see. More life gain effects, not in white, but in green. For 3, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. I think that's pretty cool. In standard, it's going to be a little rough to see just how cool, but I mean, I think in other formats as well, this is going to see some play for sure. I think the card's great. It serves a multi-purpose. It can get stuff done, get stuff into the graveyard, sift through some stuff. It's really cool. I think it's cool, man. I enjoy it, and it's going to see play. I love my sagas. Theros, Beyond Death, spoilers. That is all. Why am I so pale? I swear I'm not that pale in real life. All right, well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what cards you're interested in, and don't forget to check out these videos up here. I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Leave a like. I appreciate it. As always, skadink, skadink, skadoosh. Oh, one more thing, in case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.